That's actually my heartbeat. 30 years ago, I entered Osmania University in the chemical engineering department. And for the guys in the early stages of your education in the university, walking into campus, this is how the heart starts beating fast, because there's a lot of excitement, anticipation, and a thrill of the journey in how your education looks like. For educators, when I'm asked most often, what do you do for a living? I tell them I'm in the venture capital world, and they're impressed. When I tell them I'm an educator, writer, author, they're not that impressed. So as storytellers, we try to make it a little more interesting. So the simplest way to understand Shailu from Osmania University, chemical engineering in 93, all the way to Shailu today, the storytelling has evolved a little bit, not as amazing as this gentleman who looks like Rajamouli and can actually craft a story better than that. And I say that in the morning we write checks, in the night time we write books. One of them seem to be working okay, so the profession is running fine. And it's wonderful to be in a stage like this. It's like life goes full circle, right? So you have to choose one image that represents how does your heart look like, how does it feel like, how does it beat like, when you have to say nothing else and connect all of us into one feel. That image, I think, will resonate with, we are kind of a 5,000-year-old enterprise and a 75-plus-year-old startup, trying to find our own identity. So today's talk, what I said is, let's begin with the foundations, right? That might help us get into this world of, how many in this room want to be entrepreneurs? So we want to get into some mindset of what are some recipes to get there, and what are some pathways that educators like us who are in the industry of entrepreneurship help you get there. Because these myths are, it's natural, it's inborn, you got to have a talent that's already there, you can wing it. So let's kind of demystify some of that, but let me begin with the first thing outside my intro. Vande Mataram, everyone. I think we begin with the foundations. And these are the 4 things. For all the Atidis here, very, very warm welcome, and thanks for giving us the opportunity to share the stage and share our ideas. For the Acharyas who taught us to be in this campus to learn some foundations, I spent about 30 years in Chicago and 20 in Hyderabad. Actually, it's Mehboob Nagar, but Hyderabad seems more fancy. So, the Acharyas, thank you for teaching us. And each one of you actually is an Acharya. It's not only the people who are teaching you on a stage in a spotlight. If you look to the left, if you look to the right, you will find amazing teachers. If only you listen in whatever language, sometimes without a word, you will keep learning. And most importantly, the 2 founders of You the Product, Matru Deva Bhava, Pitru Deva Bhava, Atidhi Deva Bhava, and Acharya Deva Bhava. Without saying that no journey is worth beginning, no journey is worth taking, and no journey is worth completing. So with that, I want you to indulge me for a few minutes, maybe 10 seconds, not a few minutes. Close your eyes and imagine a sunset on Earth, just for 10 seconds. Imagine a sunset on Earth. And time. I want somebody to just explain to me, or actually, when they say when you come to Osmania, they show you your place. So I know where to stand. Ramagaru, sunset Japan Mir. How does a sunset visualization look like? Image of sunset anagane. Bright. Sunsetting in an ocean. Master of words and expressions. Vijaypal. Sunsetting behind hills. Any students in the back? You have to really speak up in this country to be heard, especially in this season. There's a lot of noise out there. Any last guesses on a sunset? Any visualizations? An orange color. Now, a gratitude. Okay, fine. Oh, beautiful. That's an emotion for a sunset. You are the creative ones. One indulgence and we'll be done. Now, take only 3 seconds. It's not a test. And imagine a sunset in Jupiter. Imagine a sunset in Jupiter. And take only 3 seconds. Now we'll let some brave volunteer tell me what does that image look like. Anyone? Very good. It's very hard for us to find common reference points when the whole framework changes. You don't know how to find a common reference point. Beach, gratitude, calmness, sunset on earth is very, very relatable to most people. We're all living in our own Jupiters right now in terms of our aspirations. So the people on earth are unable to understand what are we aspiring to, because some people visualize two suns in the Jupiter. Some people visualize cold, dark, cloudy. Most of it is dark. The unknown is always uncomfortable for us. So we gravitate towards people we can always relate to. But the evolution of us happens in the unknown. So we need to have conversations with each other as we learn and teach the next generations, which we work very actively on as a legacy to say, what is your Jupiter? Can the world relate to it? And can you come back to the earth please once before you take us to your Jupiter? This is the question that every kid gets asked at every age. And when we grow up and look tired, seasoned, old, whatever you call it, we are said, what do you do? At childhood, we are asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? When you grow up, finally they say, what do you do now? Is it impressive enough? How about we unravel this question a little bit? Most of these questions in children are always told, even young graduates, it is a profession. It is not a personality. It is not a career. It is not a social aspiration, the kind of wonderful work that TAL is doing here. It's always a profession. And especially if you're in the South, there's two tribes, the engineer tribes, the doctor tribes, and the loser tribes. Because you couldn't make it to MPC or BPC. What a tragedy, right? I mean, so many opportunities. If I told you today that Shailu is a painter and I'm doing my art exhibition, you'd be impressed because he has done some other professions to earn his time to paint. So we need to demystify some of that education we're giving at the foundational level to let young graduates, young children to aspire beyond a degree and a profession. So we went to the neuroscience research. I do research in one place called the Harvard Business School. We call it HBS, is actually for humility before significance. We do the humility before that. And you know how you know somebody is from Harvard? They'll definitely tell you, because it's very, very hard to get there. And it's even harder to teach there. So when we do neuroscience research, we did thousands of research work across multiple universities to know this magic between what is current research on happiness reveal. How many of you want to be prosperous, rich? Wow, not a lot of people. That's surprising. How many of you want to be happy? How many want to compromise and be happily rich? We all aspire for both, right? How can we have one or the other? Why is it that we have to be this or the other? So I will give you 3 affordable, learnable, and universal superpowers. And this is not something I made up last night because Ramagaru made me do the slides. This actually is in my scribbled handwriting from the neuroscience research that I furiously put into a slide so that I don't forget these 3 magic spells. Turns out there is no magic spells. These are the 3 things. And in fact, this whole organization is based on kindness. Sai and Vinaya talks about this all the time. It's so obvious. Kindness, optimism, and gratitude seems to be the universal superpowers where everybody in the world can be controlled. If you have these, then you don't need to control them. Some of us have traveled from international flights. Some of us have been locally across many things, and this has a magnetic force. How we got drawn into this from the mission and vision they have. They were full of gratitude for what they have done to say, let's actually be part of the social progress and contribute back. They're full of optimism that if you raise a hand and say welcome, people will show up, people will pay attention, people will be engaged, people will show kindness. And for that beginning, I applaud you, because this is not an easy mission to begin with, to take these foundational things. I get into a call with Sai and he will talk about kindness for a long time. It's become kind of his mission for life. This is also, by the way, for the young grads and the aspiring professionals, also the secret to venture capital. When you're dealing with venture capital firm, no matter what the logos say, We are all human beings. You're not dealing with aliens. We also look for good conversations that have optimism, some sense of gratitude, some values, some behaviors. We're looking for foundational things. We're looking for the merit in the idea and the market for the idea. But most importantly, we're looking for these foundational maturity in people. Because if you don't have those, it's really hard for us to engage and invest in you to build companies of scale, companies of purpose like Chaitanya has done, which is outstanding. I mean, you look at the impact he's making. The unrecognized people without sound is bringing a voice to their hearts. These are the companies we like to engage at scale. We'll call it the Shailosophy time machine because when I asked Veena, what should I talk about? Because we could talk until the sun sets, really. We have this stage fear. How many of you have experienced stage fear in your life? Anytime? That comes in 3 flavors, not chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Stage fear 1 is you don't want to get on stage because you'll be embarrassed as to what will you say. Will it be impressive? Will they laugh at your jokes or do they land flat? What if you forget what you want to say? What if the slides don't work? What if this freezes here? So that's stage fear 1.0, that's you. Stage fear 2.0 is then you understand how the stage works and you don't want to get off the stage. And the stage is afraid of you. That's stage 2.0. You really spend 20 years like me writing, reading, and speaking about things. The stage fear now translates into hundreds. It's a scaled stage where you're like, please, when does the slide stop? Because there's no slide version to it. So to make it easy, I have learnt live, and every night I post one sentence of what life world has taught me that evening. And this is for my mother in the morning, so she can wake up like everybody who wakes up like this now and stares at a screen. Instead of seeing all the activities happening in the world, I wanted her to read one positive thing so I can increase her longevity as a selfish thing for me, because after I lost my dad early, she's playing mom and dad. So the easiest trick I found out is observe life, add my name, make it philosophy, and write a love letter to my mother every night on what life taught me. And she reads in the morning. Let me take you through the time machine. How many in the 20s here? 20s, age 20s, which means mathematically under 29 is called 20s. We have to, in Osmania, never make assumptions. You have to clarify everything. You're like an energetic horse that is seeking only survival. You really don't have much of a weight of responsibility. You're early, you're energetic, that's your 20s. I will give you the life fast forward for the next 60 years, and then we'll come back in the time machine so we can save yourself 60 years of experimentation. You're an energetic seeking survival. At 30s, you're a racehorse looking for identity in the society. All you need is identity. Identify me. I've done something. I've done something special. This is what you will be doing 10 years from now. I guarantee you if you're 20s. And for the 30s in the room, any 30s? Either we have 20s. Okay, we have a few 30s. You're looking for identity. Where do I belong in the society right now before I can contribute to it? At 40s is fun. You're a show horse. You buy things with money you don't have to show people you don't like, and you hang around places you don't want to be, to post it on social media for people to like you who you don't even know. And that's a show horse. You're seeking significance. Survival ho gaya, identity, now you want significance. Look at me. I want the VIP seat. I don't want anything less. I want to be known and identified. Now 50s. We are war horses. We have seen it all. We have done it all. We are like seeking the balance between what is expectations, what is reality. How much can I do? Can you leave me alone? We are these war horses. How many 50s here? Relatable, right? Thank you. At least I have 2. 60s, we're like farm horses. Chilled out. We have harmony. We value relationships. We are offloading relationships. We have added all those things. By the way, people in your Facebook are not friends. That's a misnomer. They're not friends. They are a lot of connections. Don't confuse them with relations. 5,000 is the limit, by the way. I have at least 800,000, I thought, friends. Now I behave like a farm horse. I know that they're not friends. They're friendly with me because they need something with me. And I know the difference between my value of relationships, my relationship with the society, and what I need to do to earn that affection one person at a time, including this very room. 17, if you know what a barn is, you need to be in a village like me to grow up in Nizamabad, Nagar. So the barn horse is trying to redefine its own space because it has lost itself and saying, what can I leave as my legacy and become the bridge for the previous generations so they can earn their place in the society and find themselves. The barn horses are something we avoid because we feel, give me 10 minutes, I need to go become a identity guy, significance guy, a racehorse. And then we come to them, and they're trying to say, spend time with me, beta. It's a good thing. One lesson I might give you can save you 20, 30 years of journey. How many of you have barn horses? I wouldn't say horses, but elderly people you really love and admire at your homes, including mine. Today, if nothing else, go back and tell them that you actually care for them. When they give tea, tell them the tea is good. Lie. It's okay. If they forgot to put sugar in the tea, tell the tea is amazing. Say that you actually really appreciate some little things. It will mean a world to them. You might actually have gifted them a few more years of their life in emotion. Would you do that for me? Which brings to the 80s. We have some Nainamas and Ammamas and Tatas in the families which are destiny horses. They are desperate to have a date with death. They have lost a lot of their other horses. They talk about those horses and they want to join them in that race upstairs, not downstairs. They're done with the race. They are the ones who are looking for dignity. Please give them the dignity. When TAL organizations say that do things with kindness for others, it's not always at scale for millions of people. There are amazing people who are doing it. But if you give dignity to the people in your own family, at home, one person, two at a time, you already have earned your place in the society. And for the people who are not in that room, who can't be here, a round of applause for the people looking for dignity. So don't get so busy living. That's your back now. I took you through this whole race, right? We lived 80 years already and we came back, or 60. So I think just being for the people around you in the moment is good enough. Pay some attention. The best conversation you have is the one you're having right now. You may not be even speaking, but sometimes you don't have to say anything, as we eloquently learn to have a good conversation. So be in the now. Chill down. Great success will come your way if you have good intent, if you have good content, if you interact at peace. Money will find you, knowledge will find you, action will find you. Because you are able to absorb all of these three. What we call the Saraswati will come first, then Durga will come next, then Lakshmi will come. Do not try to change the nature of how the nature itself works. So I'm a writer. I told you I write to my mom every evening. This message that Chaitanya did really touched to my heart is she had a recent surgery and the hearing has become harder. So this morning over tea, I'm telling what this event is about, what conversation this is about. It got very hard and I don't want to yell at her. So I might reach out to you and find out the secret to, everybody has a secret skeleton key that unlocks. That's my mom and she's hurting. She can't hear properly. Not completely unheard, but can be. She doesn't want anyone to yell at her, but she doesn't want to use the machines. So I look forward to bringing back that kindness to my universe, which is my mom. And three things I'll take you back with. The things we talked about right now, and I got maybe a minute, is be self-aware. Then go connect with people. Without being self-aware, if you connect with people, you will be turned off as non-authentic. Trying to work hard too fast, too furious. And what is self-awareness is simple. Look at your own behaviors, look at the values you care for, look at your choices, your actions, your decisions, just ink them. You don't need to be a book publisher. It's very easy every night to sit at the end of the day and say, how did I behave today with people? How did I make them feel? Only two questions. How did I behave today with people? How did I make them feel? Not what I said, what I signed. How did I make them feel will make you aware of who you are. And that is how you converse with the world. We actually have a neuroscience of conversations, and I'd love to have a continued conversations with your sciences. We are either hearing someone, hugging someone, or helping someone. There's only three types of conversations. If you're having this fourth conversation, you are planet Jupiter. You're not on Earth. Please listen to these folks who are putting on the stage because we live in a world where evolution is very, very, very hard. There's political changes, economical changes, social changes, technological changes, environmental changes, and legislative changes, and they're all boundaries trying to put you in the gravity saying, we run you, don't outrun us, and you're evolving to the next step. So the question comes back to, what do you want to be when you grow up? This is, I think, the only thing I want you to remember for today. A good human being. Teach everyone to be a good human being, and every day hear someone, hug someone, and help someone. Jain, thank you.